The process was amazing. I've been saying it's basically a combination of the last 3 years of my life. It starts with the song Said So, which I wrote 3 years ago. I was in Los Angeles, couldn't get back home for a multitude of reasons, and it was the first song I ever finished that I knew was exactly what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it, and how I wanted it to sound. So I told myself that would be the first song on my debut album whenever it comes out, and I kept that promise to myself 3 years later. And so every single song on the album is very personal to me. The moment was when I wrote the song Blame's on Me. It's the first single off the album, and I walked into the studio that day so sad and ready to take accountability. And I sat on the couch with Ricky Manning and Fakayo, producer and songwriter, and basically just described exactly what happened in the relationship and why it wasn't totally one-sided, and took accountability. And it was like the other side of heartbreak that I'd never experienced before, where I was basically breaking my own heart, and that's sort of what I just discovered. The album took 3 years because I felt like I truly just needed to be honest and open about my experiences, and I just don't think I was there yet. When I wrote the first song, Said So, I wanted to feel the same way I felt after writing that song, after every single song on the album. And so yes, I was putting out singles and EPs during this process, but I truly felt like I needed to live some life and dig deep within myself to figure out what exactly I wanted to say. And after I wrote the last song, How Dare You, I knew that it was finished. How Dare You is the single because it's different than the rest of the songs on the album. It's fun, it's a bit of, I mean, it's truthfully just a screw you song. It was the last song I wrote for the album, and I was on the way to the studio that day knowing I wanted something different. I wrote the chorus in the Uber on the way to the studio and sat down with everybody, and I was like, this is what I want to do today. And it came out exactly how I wanted it. Up-tempo, fun, something that everyone kind of just scream along to, and I thought that would be the perfect single for the album. So the concept of the album, it's called Bleeding Heart, is actually a flower. And so I have it tattooed on my arm right here, and it's my mom's favorite flower, and it's always been my favorite flower. And when we were deciding what I wanted to call it, and talking just about heartbreak and whatnot, I thought it'd be so beautiful to tie in, you know, my just family history and what I love personally with something that makes sense conceptually with all these songs, because they are about heartbreak, whether it's about a relationship or myself. And so when we were coming up with the cover art for the album, I wanted it to be in a beautiful field with a whole lot of chaos in the background, because that's kind of how I felt like my life has been over the last 3 years. I am most curious about Amsterdam because it will have been now my 3rd time back in a year and a half, probably a year and a few months. And every time I go back, it is just the most beautiful experience. And also, Amsterdam is just one of my favorite cities in the world. I would say heartbreak. Acceptance, accepting what's happening around you, and love, whether that be for someone else, whether you have it or lost it, or for yourself. Zoners, my name is Alexander Stewart, and my debut album, Bleeding Heart, is out now. Please go take a listen. I love you guys so much.